Welcome to sportsbookreview.com. I'm Flash, and it's week 9 of the Premier League. Let me get this rant right over and done with very early. International break. It can do one for me. What a pain that is. You're not allowed to go out in most of the countries because of lockdown. We'll send a big party of 50 or 60 people all over the world to other countries. Bring up the COVID, come back. You won't get out to play at the weekend. Let me get this rant. Well, I can hear myself back there, Fab. If you can just mute me, that would be great. No one wants to listen to me. Now, if you press the link in the description, that will take you over to the articles wrote by either Matt, Martin, Alex, Tan, or even Dave. But also, I want you to subscribe, press the button, ring the bell, and that means we can notify you. And when we move the schedule around, because we've got NBA draft or we've got some other big sporting events going on, we just slip ourselves in, and I want it on a Wednesday to give you enough time, especially for this weekend in the Premier League. Remember, you're our third guest. We're going to have a two-team parlay. And with the two-team parlay, because we haven't been doing great, I want you to give us some suggestions in the chat. And if they're good enough, then I'm going to throw them in at the end. So it's going to be our team effort today. Martin and Matt, how you doing? What about the international break? First of all, Martin.
Yeah, I'm like you. I find it to be a bit of a waste of time, to be honest. Don't think the Nations League is particularly prestigious, and not really the time to be having international friendlies either with this global pandemic that's sweeping the world. Could have done with the players staying at home and just carrying on with the club season. Lots of players are coming back now with COVID-19, which makes them unavailable to represent the clubs that are paying their wages. Whole thing's a bit of a disaster, really, but very much looking forward to getting back to club football and hopefully getting some winners this weekend. Yeah,
I actually had a positive week or 2 weeks ago now. Positive amount of 2.8 units, and I've got away with murder on a couple of games, but we'll go into that as well. Matt, Mr. Premier League, my lad.
Always. Always miss the show. But it's just great that we're finally going to be able to get to some kind of consistency from here on out, really. There's no international break, I believe, until March. So that's really all we've been looking for all year with this season right now. Like Martin touched on during the pandemic, we're just looking for some consistency. So I've got a big smile on my face today because there is no international break for quite some time.
Okay, well, first of all, let's have a little look at the records because we made a little bit of money on the last one. There's Martin up just minus 180, which is not bad considering the current climate in the Premier League. Matt, didn't go too clever last week, mate. You got beat by a few dodgy goals at minus 8.35. Flash back to 13.3. I want to erase that back to around under 10 this week. Would be nice because we pulled it back from over 16. Team parlay still doing the best of us at plus 1.85, but 21.6. We've got to eat into that, and we've got to eat into it quickly. Now it's week 9. So that means that we know the teams now. Obviously, we don't know the personnel because some have got COVID. Some managers are happy that some of their players have got COVID because they haven't been producing anyway. We're going to kick off with the first game. Is it a trap or is it a walk in the park? I'm going to come to you first, Martin. Newcastle plus 600, draw plus 360, and Chelsea at minus 200. Chelsea have been mightily impressive, and they've got the squad to cope with the break and all these games.
Yeah, totally agree that they've been mightily impressive. I was particularly impressed when they put Kante as the sole holding midfielder and then just let Mason Mount and co wreak havoc going forwards. Look very dangerous in attack. And like you say, they've got the squad depth to handle, this period of international travel, players getting coronavirus and stuff. So it's difficult to back a team at minus 200 after an international break, I feel. But I think giving them a bit of a handicap, you can still go for it. I'm going to keep betting on Chelsea for a while now because I have been impressed with them in recent weeks. And I think certain players going forward, like Timo Werner, can go on a bit of a roll now. Newcastle really lack consistency. They're probably not really going to have earmarked this as a game that they can win. So I don't think they'd be too devastated if they lose, just move on. I'm going for Chelsea -1 Asian handicap.
-1. Okay, I think I wrote down minus 0.75. Is that the same thing?
Oh, maybe I would. Oh, I must have gone for 0.75, and that'll get me a half win if they do win by 1 clear goal.
Oh, okay, that's good. It's always nice because we're educating some people. It might be their first time. If it is your first time, come in and say hello. Join the family. Because if we're going to get cold, let's huddle together. And when we're warm, we'll just all go around the bonfire and have a nice time of it. Matt, you didn't have a nice time of it 2 weeks ago. Sorry for keep bringing it up.
It's okay. Yeah, there was a couple. I know there was another missed penalty in there. It just is what it is. It's the way that this season has gone thus far, but we're not even a quarter of the way through. So I believe that I can turn this thing around. So, but just in terms of Chelsea, I've gone with a little bit of a different angle here. I've gone with Chelsea in the under 4.5. I think that we've touched on Chelsea. I think that Martin brings up a great point too, to probably continue betting Chelsea. I think that they might have the best value in terms of like a European competition, the Champions League. They're going to continue to just gel more and more. They've been able to sign Mendy in at goal. He's brought, a lot of solidity really to that defense. They've gotten much more solid ever since the first international break of the season. They were shipping goals left and right, and we talked about it. Frank would get them more organized and ready to go, and he has done that. They've kept a lot of clean sheets here. There's going to be no Pulisic, no Havertz here for Chelsea, but I still think that they've got enough depth, kind of like what you touched on, Flash, to be able to get the job done here against a Newcastle side that, they're really, we know who they are, and I think that Chelsea comes out of this comfortably with a 1-0, 2-0, 3-1 kind of win, and I think it stays under 4.5.
Yeah, let me just tell you that everything we do on this show this week comes with caution. Because we know that next week we're going to go back and go, international break. How many times do we say it? We don't mention it on the show and then we get stiffed. Is this a game where Chelsea, nearly every player's an international? Every player's going to have been away. There might be players actually playing or being ready to play and then COVID hits them on Friday. Honestly, we're not wishing it on them. But there will be upsets this weekend, I promise you. So please tread carefully and just try and pick your spots, even if you have to wait for the lineups. But there will be upsets. Now, I've warned myself. So next week when I say, why did I do that? Chelsea, the boys are going for. Got to leave it alone. And not because I don't like Chelsea. I just don't like having anything to do with a game that's got Newcastle involved. Now then, what do we make of Aston Villa? Matt, I'm going to come to you first. Yep. Villa plus 130, draw plus 270, and goal shy Brighton at plus 220. I did a 4-5 team parlay last time. I got 4 out of 5, and the Friday night game, the first leg, 0-0, and they had 80% possession at home to Burnley. Absolutely killed me. Matt, do we fancy they score?
I do. I do think that Brighton can score here. They've been a both teams to score kind of squad for the last calendar year, but they haven't been firing in front of goal. Neil Maupay is ice cold right now, really. He hasn't been clinical in front of Ned. That's something that we've come to expect from him, and it really hasn't been, it hasn't been living up to the billing, really. So, but for me here, I think that there's a couple different ways to attack this one. I initially think that both teams to score and the over 2.5 is a decent look here. I think that if you want some serious value, I think that both teams to score and and Villa to win at 3-1 on your money, it looks pretty good as well. Villa are undefeated in 9 of the last 11 in the Premier League. They've won 7 of 10 in all comps. We know what they've been doing, and they've been doing it well. Grealish is playing right now for England. I'm going to cross my fingers and hope that he doesn't get COVID after this match, because I've gone for Villa. Draw no bet here, minus 145. I just don't see them getting beat here. I think it's a safer angle. I think that Villa have enough to win this game, though.
But is this not the type of game, Martin, where Brighton, they will turn up. They will be able to pass the ball. It'll be a pure football match. There'll be no heavy challenges going in. Both are quite stable in the way that they set up. I think both teams are going to have chances. Do you think that the Alex Classics are probably the way to go here?
Yeah, perhaps. I'm a bit nervous about betting against Brighton, to be honest, because I do feel like their performance levels have been a lot better than their results suggest. Keep waiting for them to actually realise their potential and go on a bit of a run. Obviously, Aston Villa were phenomenal last time out. bit disappointing for them that the international break came when it did, because they could have carried a great deal of momentum into this game. Now instead they've gone away, international break, Jack Grealish has got tired, there's a few issues that could make me a bit wary about betting on them. Also, they lost their 2 games before that Arsenal match, so I do think consistency is going to be a bit of an issue for this side. I'm still a bit concerned that Brighton can get a result in this game, so going to be a pass from me. But yeah, if I had to play it, I would go both teams to score.
Yeah, I think it's one of those, it's dangerous. I mean, we could look back next week and go, yeah, Villa won 3 or 4-1. But remember, this is a Villa side that were 4-0 down against the Southampton side who didn't even get out of second gear. I've actually gone with the Alex Classic official. You'll see, obviously, when we put up the official picks at the end. But I just think that's, yeah, it could be a 2-2. It could be a 3-1. But I definitely see both teams scoring. So I've just gone with the Alex Classic. I'm not going to complicate it. Now, these are 2 teams that can have a bundle of internationals away, but one side I don't think can handle the players going away, playing the games, and then coming back and facing opposition like this. Spurs plus 300, draw plus 300, and Man City at minus 130. Do we complicate it, Martin? But I have complicated it because I've gone with Man City and over 1.5. And the reason is I think that Man City, I think both teams could score. So you could go with Man City and both teams to score. But I've gone with Man City because I think they've got the squad. I think that the Tottenham defence is still struggling. I think they'll get found out. And the more confidence that Tottenham go with, they'll leave the back door wide open for a Man City side that needs to produce.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking at goals in this one. Tottenham have only kept 2 clean sheets in 8 games so far this season. Man City have only kept 2 clean sheets in 7 games. Defensive weakness has been the undoing of both sides, really. But Spurs are unbeaten in 7 games since that opening day defeat to Everton. They have been on a very good run of form, scored 19 goals in that time. Harry Kane and Son have been on fire. Son has come back from international duty without actually playing, I think. He didn't play this week because there was a COVID issue, but I think he's going to be cleared to play. Gareth Bale should line up. I know there might be Diaz and Laporte playing at the back for Man City, which is very strong, but I think Spurs have the players to hurt them in defence. Obviously, Tottenham's real weakness is at the back as well. Eric Dyer doesn't look like a centre-half for me, and they're just a bit calamitous. Not sure if Sergio Aguero is going to be fit to play. Sterling was also out of the international break for England, but either way, they should have enough firepower to open up this Tottenham side. So both teams to score for me, definitely. If I was betting on the outrights, I'd go Tottenham draw double chance at 1.95. I actually quite like the look of that. I'm not gonna probably go for it, but I do quite like that. Spurs beat Man City 2-0 in February, took 4 points off them last season, and I'm still not convinced by this Man City side yet this season. So leaning towards Spurs on the outright, but both teams to score would be my bet.
Okay, Matt. Spurs, you liked Spurs the last few weeks, and now they're entertaining Man City, who have probably got the biggest squad, and they are the best side probably going forward. Do you see them holding out, Spurs?
So I was on Spurs in February when we were on the show. This is one of those that really, I wish it wasn't coming after the international break, because then I would agree with both of Martin's points, really. I think that, Spurs are, they're unbeaten 20 out of 24 matches. I mean, they're on a good run of form. And they have, like what he talked about, they have the likes of, Son and Kane and Bale to be able to hurt Man City. And and Mourinho will set up tactically well here, I believe, to hurt Man City on the break. It's one of those that I want to play, but it's coming off the international duty. So I've just left it alone. I think that both teams to score and over 2.5 is in play here. I also think that maybe, I know that this kind of is an opposite feeling, but Spurs are unbeaten in 14 consecutive matches at halftime. Maybe this one could be kind of dreary for a little bit, actually, and a halftime draw plus 140 or 2.4. I don't know. It's just one of those that I just am steering away from after the international break.
I worry about Tottenham's midfield, to be honest. Any team that's got Højbjerg in there's going to be a distinct lack of creativity. They're probably just going to try and sit there. But remember, Torres is absolutely on fire as well. So I've gone with Man City to win and over 1.5. I was going to go with both Man City and both teams to score, but I just can't be cheering on a Tottenham goal. So Man City to win and over 1.5 for me. I think that's near enough. I think it's over plus money I got. So we'll have a look. Next game, I'm going to come to you, Matt. Man United minus 300, draw plus 470, West Brom at plus 950. I was trying to find how I'm going to get the value on a Manchester United win. And then I'm thinking, international break, this could be the game at plus 950 that kills us.
Yes, it stinks to be having to lead this one off because I just don't really have much here. I'm not interested in United whatsoever. I think the international break came at a decent time for them, you could say. They've had players that have traveled, and Fernandes looked pretty good yesterday for Portugal. And, West Brom, as we know, guys, I mean, they're bottom feeders really in this league. They look like they're going down. This is the perfect get right spot for the Red Devils here. If I had to play it, it would be United minus 1.5 at minus 110. But again, I'm passing here off the break.
Martin, we just want to see a Man United performance, don't we? But this is a game where I've been in teams that you go to Old Trafford, and obviously I was going to Old Trafford when Man United were absolutely flying. And you think to yourself, well, look, this is a freedom game. You're not going to get a lot. But on their day, Man United can be as bad as anyone.
Yeah, if I didn't watch this game and you told me it was 4-0 to Man United, I wouldn't be surprised. But if you told me it was 2-1 to West Brom, I wouldn't be surprised either.
That's the one. That is the one. That's exactly what I thought. I thought that a breakaway goal because Man United got frustrated. We've seen it so often when we don't give a team a chance. And on the back of the international break, it's another one of those that next Wednesday or Thursday when we do this next show, we're coming back and going, we told you West Brom had a chance, but have we got the kahunas to actually put money down? I don't think we have.
No, not for me. They're the joint favourites to be the next manager to be sacked, Solskjaer and Slaven Bilic. Chris Wilder's right down there now as well with them, but they're the two front runners to be the next Premier League manager to leave their post. So it's desperate times for both of them. Solskjaer got out of jail with that win over Everton beforehand, but it's equally desperate for West Brom, for Bilic. He really could do with a result here to buoy up his squad. There's a chance, they put 3 past Chelsea in the first half of that game, so they could soak up a bit of pressure, hit Man United on the break. Never quite know what's going to happen, and at minus 300, I can't bet on Man United. But like I say, they could easily turn up and thrash West Brom, so I'm not betting on West Brom either, just passing.
Maybe there's a bit of value in Man United to win and both teams to score, because they don't keep many clean sheets, and my thoughts about their defenders. So
I just looked at it, Flash. I think that when we talk about it and analyze this match a little bit more, I think that the best value play for a straight bet, both teams to score at 2.05 looks decent. It's sneaky good, I think.
Yeah, do we remember when Bournemouth went there back in the last year? It was like 6-3 or something bonkers like that, or 5-4, or it was just crazy. I think it could be one of them games where, they've got good pace, good energy, West Brom, and Man United in isolated situations, 1v1, they'll come up wanting at the back four. So, yeah, I'll probably have a little look at this game and maybe end up playing in play if I see West Brom are at it. But listen, anything plus 100, plus 105, just for both teams to score. Can you rely on Man United to keep the back door closed for 90 minutes? I don't think so. So that's probably the way you would want to go if you had to go. Now, Matt, Fulham plus 310, draw plus 275. Everton minus 110. Let's start with Fulham. They go and beat West Brom at home. Comfortable, clean sheet. They go away from home at West Ham. They absolutely tear West Ham apart without being a massive goal threat. They look very organised. Ademola Lookman looked absolutely superb in both the games. And then obviously he goes and misses a penalty that would have given them a more than deserved point. Obviously, I was happy because I had West Ham. But Ademola Lookman messes up the penalty, but he's been a massive shining light since he came back from Leipzig.
Yes, he looks fantastic. He looks like their one shining star that they've got. But the teams that you kind of touched on here, I think that they're not as good as Everton. And Everton aren't in a great bit of form as well, though. But I think
no, Matt, because Everton, they went to Southampton and got beat 2-0 against the mighty Saints. So obviously I can understand that. Mm-hmm. Then they get beat 2-1 at Newcastle. And Newcastle, nothing special. They get beat 3-1 against Man United, but I understand that Everton raised their game against the big guns. I just think we might have seen the best of Everton, you know?
Yes. Well, a lot of those matchups, they didn't have their best player in, which is Richarlison. He'll be back here fit and ready to go.
But he's been in Uruguay this weekend. This week he's been in Uruguay.
I know. And I'm also concerned because Martin's old pal, Lucas Torreira, started for Uruguay and played 60 minutes yesterday and had COVID. So it's one of those, again, I have it as a pick right now, but again, I have to wait and see the information here. I don't think this line is moving too much either way. It does smell a little bit. It's kind of trappy. I'll give that to you. Everton have not really ever had success at Craven Cottage. They've won 2 of their last 13 trips there. But again, this is a different year. It's a different Everton. It's coming off an international break, which I'm hoping will settle them down a bit. I think that they're the better side. No fans in the stands here. I believe that Everton should have enough. I hope Richarlison comes back, and I hope that they're fully fit and ready to go here. And so that's why I would go with Everton.
Yeah, I'm not so sure, Martin, because James Rodriguez, I know he scored, but they got dicked 6-1 yesterday in Ecuador. I'm always worried about them players who go to South America. So halfway around the world. And then they've got to come back and play away from home. Different if you play at home on the way back.
I am a bit worried about the South American players, yeah, because, Richarlison...
Well, they're their best players.
They're their best players, and they did go on a real slump in form when those two were out of the team. Richarlison was suspended from that red card, and, James Rodriguez was injured for a couple of games. But this is a game that Everton have to win. You look at the fixture list. Fulham, we've got to beat Fulham. They're the worst team in the league. I know you say Lookman's a good player. He's done very well. Across their starting 11, they're definitely the worst team in the league for me. Everton really have to get back to winning ways. They had a real slump in form. I would like to see the lineup before betting on this game, but I bet on Everton about 10 days ago, and I got plus 105. So it has gone in a bit. I think it could carry on shrinking if you don't back it now. So I'd be prepared to go at minus 110, which is 1.91. I think that's a good price on a team of Everton's quality. I'm with you. I don't think they're going to finish top 4. We may have seen the best of them, but I still think they'll be, 7th, something like that. And against the team that I'm pretty certain are going to be relegated, you've got to go and win this one. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, they should still be able to create enough chances for him to get on the score sheet, keep things relatively tight at the back. Has to be an Everton win for me.
Yeah, honestly, this was close to being my banker. I've actually gone Fulham double chance. I mean, when am I going to... Fulham have looked so much better the last few weeks. Remember, I sat here and sorry?
No, Flash, don't go against me here.
I have actually gone with a Fulham double chance. I just can't believe that I'm getting a side who have gone to West Ham and absolutely dominated them. They cruised through. They look so much better. Do I think they're going to be winning games? No, because I don't think they can score enough goals. Mitrovic looks like he's getting slower and slower, but I'm concerned about Everton's away form. What a game this next one is, though, Martin. Sheffield United at plus 190. As you say, Chris Wilder's now money coming for him to be the next Premier League manager sacked. Can't work that out. Draw plus 230 and West Ham at plus 160. Wow. Toss that coin and come up with the winner, please, Martin.
I'm tossing the coin and coming up with West Ham as the winner. You look at the form book. Sheffield United, bottom of the league, 1 draw, 7 defeats out of 8 games. They've been in every match. They haven't been blown away. Against the better teams in the league, they've only lost by 1 goal here and there. they just don't have that magic in front of goal. They don't create enough. They're not dangerous enough. They're not sharp enough in front of goal. And West Ham are the sort of team that can roll their sleeves up and scrap. They'll fight for every point, I think. I've been really impressed with them this season. He's got all the players that I liked out of the team, like Felipe Anderson and Haller, quality players on the ball. He's just putting scrappy players instead that will fight for every ball. And it's really paid off. They've had some really impressive results, cruising to a mid-table finish. It doesn't look like it's going to be another relegation battle for them this season. And I think Chris Wilder's in trouble. You know, he looked like a tactical genius last season, outfoxed a lot of experienced coaches, but it's not happening for him this time around. I wonder if people have figured Sheffield United out. I know they're going to have to get a result somewhere sooner or later, but I'm thinking West Ham are going to go and get something there. So West Ham draw, no bet for me.
Okay, West Ham draw, no bet for Martin. Oh, I'm just thinking the draw is definitely on the cards here, Matt.
It very well could be. When you talk about coin flips, I think that if you flip this coin, I think that 55-60% of the time here, it'll go with the team that scores more goals. And I think that that's where you maybe have some value here. You have a team in West Ham that have had no real problems in front of net. It looks like Antonio could also be coming back here. He's been on absolute fire. So it was good for them to still get some results without him. But he could be back in here. And if he is back in here, I expect this line to drift a little bit and it'll become shorter on West Ham. If it's me playing this one right now, it's West Ham draw no bet or nothing.
Okay. Well, in the next game, we go to Yorkshire, and it's Leeds at +225. Absolutely robbed away at Palace, but I was on Palace at +200, so I didn't really care. But for the good of the game, you cannot be giving a player offside because his arm's offside, but his feet are 3 yards on. Sort yourselves out, VAR, or just do one, because we got Leeds at +225, the draw at +280, and Arsenal at +110. Mine, I want to come to you because you're the Arsenal fan. Whenever we see Arsenal away from home at +110, you fall through the trap door.
This is a must-win game for Mikel Arteta. He's lost 4 out of his opening 8 games of the season. That's embarrassing.
How did they lose 3-0 at home? I didn't see that game. How did they lose 3-0 at home to Villa?
It was absolutely horrendous, Flash. They deserved to lose 3-0. They passed sideways, they passed backwards, they didn't create anything, they didn't have any fight. Every time Aston Villa got on the ball, they looked incisive, they looked sharp, couldn't deal with Grealish, couldn't deal with Barkley. They just looked too strong. Arsenal had loads of possession. Backwards, sideways, Bellerin, Holding. It was like Bellerin and Holding just passing it between them for 80 minutes. And then Aston Villa ran up the field and scored 3 goals. It was such a shocking, spineless performance. And Arsenal have gone so many games now without creating anything, paying Willian an absolute fortune. And he just had an absolute howler yet again. Hasn't done anything since the opening day of the season. He had one shot that went off for a throw-in when he was about 6 yards out. So you've got to drop him. You've got to drop Willian. You've got to drop Lacazette. These overpaid players just aren't doing anything for Arsenal. Apparently, I think Partey's kind of injured. He's 50-50 whether he's going to play. El Neni's got COVID, so those two look like they're out. That's going to force you to play Ceballos and Xhaka, who at least look forward and play forward balls more. I think get rid of Lacazette, get rid of Willian, bring in Pepe, bring in Nketiah, go with some younger players, maybe Joe Willock, something like that. It's really time for Mikel Arteta to go back to the drawing board because you can't play 3 at the back and 2 holding midfielders when you're playing at home against Aston Villa. It's just pathetic. And, he's going to have to take the game to Leeds in this one. If they lose that, that's 5 defeats out of 9 games. That's, that's the sort of thing that you can get sacked for. If you want to win the league, you can only really lose 5 games in the season, let alone in your opening 9 matches. And it's just not befitting of the ambition that the club has shown in the transfer market. So he's going to have had 2 weeks to plan how to win this game. And, his reputation's really on the line here. Just because of that, I have to go for Arsenal at plus 110. I think it just looks like a good price on a game that he really has to figure out a way to get his team scoring, creating and winning matches. And, I think they could just sneak this one.
Both teams to score an over. Looks like an absolute moral, by the way. So if you don't care who wins, then go for that. The big benefit I see for Arsenal is that Leeds, they're not going to sit back. They're going to play the way they play. So they're not going to be frustrating you. They are going to have a lot of the ball. You're going to have a lot of the ball. Is Calvin Phillips back? That'll be massive for them. They create chances. They're mentally strong. And that's the one thing I would aim about Arsenal. Are they mentally strong enough to go up against a team who just keep coming at you? I wouldn't put anyone off of Leeds to win Matt at plus 225.
I wouldn't either. That was good talk right there, Martin. I really like that. Just like going through every single little facet of, and I watched some of that Arsenal game and you were spot on. It was just side passes galore. And that's what it looks like it's been thus far this season for Arsenal, just not creating chances. Their XG numbers are horrendous for a club that is at this stature. And it's really not acceptable. So Arteta has got to find a way here. Arteta under 2.5s have been really quality since he's come into Arsenal. But I'm right there with you, Flash. I think that my first circle in this match was to stay away from a side and play both teams to score in the over 2.5 because Leeds are going to press you. They are going to make you kind of come out of your shell a little bit if you're Arsenal. So this could be a good time for Arsenal to come out of their shell. They're going to be pressed high up the pitch. Maybe they can get a counterattack with Aubameyang, who's been dreadful since the contract extension. I couldn't bet this with my own money, though. So, I'd lean both teams to score and over.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more of a lean than I haven't put it in my officials. But when it comes to putting this game on my TV, astute, you say, possibly an over. And if Arsenal holds the ball, it's cooked. Arsenal won't be able to hold the ball. They will be pressured. Away from home, they just don't get that time. I think I'm really talking myself into this, but I think that we see goals in this game. And it could even be that Arsenal are 3-0 up. But I still see the game ending 4-1, 4-2, maybe even a 3-3 because Arsenal will go to pieces. It's a really good game to watch, though, and I will be watching it. Next game. This is either the biggest trap or gift. You decide, because we've got Liverpool at minus 105. I'm going to come to you, Matt, because you're the Liverpool fan. Draw plus 320 and Leicester at plus 480. Either Leicester are the biggest gift ever at 480 or Liverpool are the trap at minus 105. No Salah, COVID. All the defenders in the world that have ever been associated with Liverpool were injured, central defenders. And yet I still can't get away from the fact that our champions and the best squad and team by a country mile are nearly at plus 100, Matt.
I know. They won 4-0 against Leicester the last time out, too. It is one of those where I don't understand how any punter really can, on a day like today, I guess, make a prediction for this game. I think it's really tough. I think that if there's one thing as a good punter maybe that you could do here is you could take the big price on Leicester and hope that you get the correct injury information that you're expecting on Liverpool. And that line will drop then. And my first initial lean really is because of the Liverpool defense. Leicester's defense isn't great either. They've got injuries as well. This should be goals. I just wonder if it's going to be one of those games that both teams try to be very cautious. And but I expect probably Xherdan Shaqiri maybe will start on the right wing. It'll be Jota, Mane. We'll find out if Firmino has COVID or not. No Henderson, it looks like. No Thiago Alcantara yet. He's close. He's not ready yet. I was hoping to see Fabinho. Again, a lot of hopes, a lot of wishes here, and no real certainty. So this is a complete lineup checker for me. I think that there could eventually be value on Liverpool, and I think there could eventually be value on Leicester. Right now, initial lean, both teams to score and over 2.5. Both teams should find the back of the net here with their struggles in defense.
Yeah, I mean, someone in the chat said, where did I find the 480? Well, it was 480, and actually now it's coming into around between 250 and plus 300. But again, I just see, I'm blinded, Martin. I'm blinded by Liverpool at minus 105, and I think they win the game. I think they're far too good, and I've gone with them over 1.5 goals as well.
Yeah, I really hate this game from a betting perspective because I think Liverpool's win against Leicester last season was the best performance I've seen from a Premier League club. Trent Alexander-Arnold was just on fire down that right-hand side. He just destroyed them. And Leicester were looking like the one team that could challenge Liverpool for the title at that point, and they just absolutely blew them away. So you would normally be rubbing your hands, lump on Liverpool, they'll kill them. But then obviously they've just got this horrendous injury crisis. Van Dijk's out, Gomez is out. But then again, if Matip declares himself fit, if Fabinho comes back from injury and those two play at centre-back, they could keep things reasonably tight still. And then Leicester. Both teams to score paid off in, I think, the 7 previous meetings between these two sides before Liverpool beat them 4-0 last time out. So my main leaning would be both teams to score. But then you watch the way Leicester played against Arsenal a few weeks ago. They just sat back, didn't show any ambition whatsoever, and then just smash and grab. One attack up the pitch, scored, beat them 1-0. It was quality stuff from Brendan Rodgers. So I'd have a slight fear that they'll just try to do the same thing again, which means, long story short, can't bet on this game.
I can understand that. I'm not going to let Liverpool run loose at nearly plus 100 at home, especially against the Leicester side, who are so reliant on just hitting you on the break. Then this next game, I wouldn't mind. I don't care if you want to just say, put a line through it. By the way, everyone in the chat, start getting ready for your two-team parlay, because at the moment, I'm not really hearing much that's actually going to go on there. So we might have to be a little bit streetwise and go maybe not for a couple of winners, but maybe for a couple of games where both teams are going to score. Now, Burnley plus 180, Martin, draw plus 225, and Crystal Palace at plus 180. This is a toss of the coin, but I tell you what, Palace, they look to be going forward, and they're playing 4 strikers.
Yeah, they are, which is nice for their fans to see. It's been a bit of a dreary watch for their fans over the past few years, but they've got Zaha, they've got a few decent players up there with him now.
Eze looks great. The lad that they got from Brentford, QPR, sorry.
Yes. QPR, he was dynamite in the Championship last season. Loads of assists. Yeah, looks like another quality player. Batshuayi back there. They're, I think they'll finish mid-table. Difficult times for Burnley. They're right in the relegation zone. Funnily enough, Sean Dyche isn't in that list of managers that are, tipped for the sack, because I think everyone's just confident that he can drag Burnley out of that relegation battle at some point. He's proven that he can do it time after time. I'm a bit fearful of Burnley just roaring back to form at some point. So I don't really want to oppose them when they're playing at home to Crystal Palace. Don't have much on this game. If I was going to bet on it, I'll go 1-1 plus 600. But maybe a small amount of pocket change on that. Otherwise, line through it.
Well, I was so happy to watch Palace last time because I actually had them a nice little wages on at plus 200 at home against Leeds. Leeds are far better than Burnley. I know, obviously, the game could have completely changed if the goal was allowed, which should have been allowed. Let me just go to 23 thumbs up out of 82 watching. What's the matter with you? You enjoying the show too much? You're forgetting about the thumbs up? Come on now. I've got to go and speak to the people and tell them that you like this show and you show your appreciation by pressing the thumbs up. So while they press the thumbs up, Matt, you talk.
So this is another coin flippy game. And I think that 55% of the time, this coin flip would go towards Palace. I do. Right now, the way that the teams have been playing, Burnley just don't look like they have it right now. And this is kind of one of those matches. I don't like to get into, this team has one individual player. But this is one of those games where the one individual that is the best player on the pitch can decide the match. And it's Wilfried Zaha. And I believe that I would rather be on Palace at a draw no bet if I had to play this than anything. But it's a pass.
Yeah, you say one individual player. Townsend's playing really well. Ayew's playing really well. You get Benteke off the bench. You got Eze, who's absolutely playing at the top of his game. I just think that I'm talking myself into it, but maybe draw no bet Palace is the way to go, because Burnley, I've seen them 3 or 4 times this year, and they have offered nothing every single game. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to put draw no bet, and this is just for my home entertainment when I'm sitting there with me popcorn on my lap. Okay, the last game. We're going to come to you first, Matt, because I know how much you love them, especially draw at half-time. Wolves, plus 135. Draw, plus 225. And the Mighty Saints at plus 225.
Yes. The one match that I cashed 2 weeks ago was on the under in Southampton. No Ings. I arguably got lucky with that one, too. There was a fantastic save in like the 85th minute to keep that one to stay under. This one here, so this was a 3-2 thriller the last time out. I don't see how that happens again. I think that Southampton have become a lot more solid defensively. We know how solid Wolves are defensively. No Ings again. I might lean here, and it's a decent one. I think that unders are the play here. I really do. If Monday night, something tells me that this one should stay under. The price isn't great. I believe it's around minus 150 on a under 2.5. But I see Southampton having a lot of possession here. Wolves will try to hit them on the break. Can they? Oh gosh, it's just tricky right now. I would, and if I had to go with a side here, I would probably think that Wolves would be a little bit too streetwise for Southampton here, but again, it's not something coming off the break and some injuries, and I'm off of it.
Mine, it's unders this game, surely. Is it not 0-0 at half-time this game?
Does look like an unders game, yeah, because Southampton, like we said, haven't got Danny Ings, so they'll have to adopt slightly different tactics, try to contain Wolves a bit. We know that
Che Adams is going well, though. Theo Walcott's back in there. Nathan Redmond.
Yeah, that's why I'm passing. I think they've got a lot of good players, Southampton, and you know if they had Danny Ings, I'd be tempted to go with them, but I think they do miss that focal point in attack. I know Che Adams has been playing well. Great to see Theo back among the getting a start at least at Southampton and playing well, getting assists. But yeah, Wolves are the better team and have better players in general. So I could see why you'd also bet on Wolves, which is why I'm passing. Yeah,
I mean, if you sit there long enough, you'll end up coming up with Wolves, the draw, and Saints away win. And I totally agree with you. It may be one of those that don't put it in any parlays. And then on Monday, if you've had a good time over the weekend with all our other shows, and remember, tomorrow we've got Serie A and Bundesliga. I've put 2 parlays together for both of them leagues, and then we've got La Liga on Friday morning as well. I think there's a lot of good things. I think it's tough in the Premier League this week. Okay, let's have a little look into the chat. First of all, I'm happier that there's 34 now. Still not great. That means there's 50 of you that are not even bothering with your thumbs up. Maybe your button's broken or something. But we need the 2-team parlay. So you get yourselves thinking in the chat, and we're going to go through the official picks, please, Fab. Okay, Martin's picks is Chelsea minus 0.75 at minus 150. Tottenham and Man City both teams to score at minus 162. Everton at minus 110. West Ham draw no bet at Bramall Lane minus 125. And Arsenal at plus 122. I got you, by the way. That's one of those I looked after you because I found plus 122, Martin. Chelsea to win and under 4.5 goals at minus 115. Aston Villa draw no bet minus 145. And Everton at minus 110. You both are on that Everton train. I don't know what you're seeing when they play away from home. Fulham double chance minus 110. Villa Alex Classic plus 100 for the banker. It looks like I'm the only person that's put a banker in this weekend. Liverpool to win and over 1.5 at plus 120. Cannot believe that. That's just a pure value pick. And Man City to win and over 1.5 at plus 110 because I don't like Spurs. And I think Man City are probably the second or third best side in the league. Now then, let's see. While we wait for the boys to give us a few tips for the 2-team parlay, lads, what would you put forward? Martin?
If I was doing a 2-team parlay.
No, not if. We've got to be positive about this. We've got to say my team that I would put in the 2-team parlay is
Everton. I said Everton. I'm all over Everton to beat Fulham.
Yeah. I'm going to be cheering on a parlay against my double chance Fulham, aren't I?
All right, I'll go Chelsea. Chelsea to beat Newcastle.
At minus 200.
Yeah.
Okay. Chelsea minus 200. Matt?
I know you were giving us some stick on the Everton match, Flash, but that's why there's also like a cash out button that you can hit. If there's no Richarlison, no James, I won't be dipping my toes into that one, but I do have it locked in right now. So the second one, let's go with.
Did someone say that Villa draw no bet was minus 145?
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Do you like that, Martin?
Yeah.
Someone in the chat saying the same. Anyone else? Southampton don't give goals away. West Ham draw no bet.
I've gone for Villa draw no bet. So yes, I do like it. I was thinking about. I mean, you know what? I really like that United West Brom. Both teams to score. The more that we talk about it, I think that's sneaky. But yeah,
it is. It is. Well, so Villa draw no bet was minus 145, wasn't it? So that's going to be what 150. That's going to be what 175. That's 250. It's going to pay plus 150 basically. The parlay. Yeah. We'll do that. That's our 2-team parlay. Thanks for everyone else. Chelsea to win. Villa draw no bet. Nick says that's exactly what we're going to do, and it's a team effort. So it's Chelsea to win at Newcastle minus 200. Villa draw no bet at minus 145. If you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button and ring the bell. Also, when you ring the bell, that means that we can notify you. You'll never miss any content again. And while you're there, just below it is a thumb. Press the thumb. It shows you appreciated the video and you enjoyed it. I'm now thinking to myself, I'm looking at the positive side, that you love it that much, that you love the show, that you forget to press the button. Also, press a link in the description that will take you over to the articles where I'm sure that Martin, Alex, Tan, Dave, they've all given you greedy parlays because you've been on international break. They'll be desperate. They'll be greedy. So join them. Go over and have a great look. Martin, Matt, have a great weekend. We'll see you again next week. Martin, I'll see you on Friday for La Liga. And we'll also have Roman from La Liga Lowdown. But tomorrow, the two nutters are back. It's Serie A. First of all, I think that's at 10 o'clock Eastern time and 11:30 Eastern time. It's the Bundesliga. I've put a couple of parlays together. So we'll see you all soon. Thanks to everyone in the chat. You take care.